Hello everyone, this is your 5 and welcome to the Coberman Central Toy Review. And today's toy review looking at the 2010 release by Hasbro of the Iron Man 2 Concept Series action figure review. And today's video is the final part 3 review for the Proving Ground 3 pack, and we'll be focusing our review on the Iron Man Hulkbuster unit. Now, as explained in the part 1 video and the part 2 video, none of the figures actually came with the base stand, and for the Hulkbuster here, it doesn't come with any accessories, so we'll take a look at the figure's paint job. You will notice that the figure's paint job is consisting mostly in red. Some parts are gold, some parts are white, some parts are like a little bit of blue going on for the repulsor, of course, and the silver. What you really don't realize is that the red are very inconsistent in paint job. You will notice some parts are too dark and some parts are too light. And some parts they apply too much red paint job that it looks like it's being, well, they splash the red paint job, like let's say the lower arm here, too much, and it dried and it became like, well, it has this watery effect going on. Upper bicep here is dark in red, the other upper bicep arm itself is a bit light. Foot here is also quite interesting. For example, the lower feet here, one side is darker, one side is lighter. You can see it yourself. Then it gets even more interesting on the side of the ankles itself. One side is darker, the other side is lighter. One side of the knee is darker in paint job, the other side is lighter as well. And some of the edges there, the color starts to fade off. Very good quality control job there, Hasbro. Now, the back of the foot, same thing, darker, lighter. Lower legs are darker in paint job. Upper legs is, one side is a bit lighter, the other side is still alright. Now, you'll notice the back of the hole here. Yes, there's a hole. And at the end of the hole, you can actually see the actual color of the plastic itself. They didn't paint it all the way, so the color starts to fade off 1/4 of the hole itself. Very nice. Good job, Hasbro. As if this is not bad enough, yes, the art reactor sort of painted because the white plastic is not painted. The rings, as in the edges surrounding that, inside the art reactor, of course, to simulate the art reactor's color. It's not in blue, it's more like a little bit greenish. Eyes here, same thing, it's a bit greenish. The other side of the eye, not painted, is in gold. Now the face there, at the edge of the face itself is painted in silver. And at least there's some black paint job there, and the mouthpiece, that's not bad. However, some of the parts of the gold itself, it's not really well done. Actually, they chipped off, like this part here. The rings itself, red paint job smudge on the gold. All of it chipped off. So that's on the top here. As you can see, and gold paint job smudge on the joint and red as well. And then they also screw up on the repulsor palm. Now this one is painted nicely done. It's white surrounded with blue. Yes, blue. Well, maybe it's green, it's too small. Here, on the other side, the surrounding rings is black, and in the middle, pink. Pink and blue. Very nice, Hasbro. So yes, the paint job is very inconsistent, very sloppy, and they apply way too much paint, red paint on certain parts that it looks really weird. And some parts are way too much, like the back of the butt of the figure itself, and then when you look at the front it's still okay, but when you look at the back it looks kinda, well, too much. So yes, the paint job is very inconsistent. But then again, let's take a look at the figure's sculpt. Now, the head sculpt is new. The rest of the body is from the movie Ironmonger. I never have the movie Ironmonger, so I have to say the sculpt for the body itself is absolutely very gorgeous, with the plating here, arms is my favorite part, because one side of the arm is equipped with a very small minigun. Hand sculpt is very nice, but very thin though. I just don't like the sculpt of the repulsor palm there. It's way too small. The other side of the arm, you got the machine gun. Now you got pistons on the legs and the upper bicep, but you notice one side of the upper bicep's piston is straight, the other one is bent, thanks to the packaging there. The packaging is way too tight, so it bent the piston. Very nice. As if this is not bad enough, thanks to the packaging, I'm not too sure why they decided to package him like that. You will notice on the previous video the figure is sort of extending like that with the arms raised outwards, and thanks to that it's sort of, well, you notice the arms is a bit sort of deformed in one way. It's just a little bit, it's not as bad, but the rest of the package that I noticed, you will notice that they deform so much inside the packaging. You'll notice the pegs popped off. Isn't that great? Well, the sculpt is very nice, but the way they put him in the packaging is not. The head sculpt is actually new. It's based on the comic version of Hulkbuster there, with an elongated top and an extra forehead piece there. Otherwise, if you remove the top piece, it just looks similarly same as the comic version. Let's take a look at the figure's articulation. No head articulation. Great. Torso, no torso articulation, expected. Waist articulation, swivel 360 degrees. Shoulders here, turn 360 degrees, and raise the arm this far. Upper bicep here, turn 360 degrees. Very nice. Elbow joint here, bend this far. The wrist joint is very nice, turn 360 degrees, go inward and outward. Very nice. Now, hip joints are ball jointed, so you can spread the legs this far, and you can have to adjust the legs so you can move forward. Has a swivel tie that turns 360 degrees. Knee joint is a bit disappointing because he just bends this far. And the ankle joint here can pivot downwards, upwards, and turn 360 degrees. Very nice motion. Now overall, I don't like this figure, but I have to do one more thing first. Size comparison. This is the comic version of the Hulkbuster, and this is the concept series, and you'll notice the concept series towers the Hulkbuster, the comic version Hulkbuster, very nicely done. But I just simply don't like how they actually make this figure and packaged him poorly. The paint job is poor, very inconsistent, a lot of paint chips, a lot of misapplied paint job. Some parts starts to fade off, some parts are too bright, some parts are too dark and it looks kind of weird. Some parts are not even painted at all. Some parts are just plain weird, like the blue repulsor palm and the pink repulsor palm. I just simply hated this figure. I mean, for the paint job. The figure looks great as a sculpt, but the rest of the stuff is horrible. So if I'm going to give a rating of this, I'll just give him a 6 out of 10. So I thank you all for watching. This is Lucy05, and I'm signing off.